So I'm kind of nervous for this one for some reason.
Yeah, we're on in, oh, 1 second. Here we go. All right, we're good.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes I feel okay. So before we start, we are recording. We're gonna do what is I guess an anti disclaimer. Are you cool with me talking about this, Andrew?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. We understand that like real life stuff is happening in the world, like it's real heavy in general. We're not gonna talk about that here. A, because no podcast for it, and B, I can't emotionally deal with that. That's just being honest.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah. I
but
feel
yeah,
like
look at.
on, yeah, I feel like a
Mhm.
lot of it actually has been just me sort of, I don't know. Uh, I'm too I'm too out of it like to talk intellectually right now. So
Yeah,
um,
you have to. You don't feel so good
yeah,
today, and you came to me when we started this talk, and you're like, "Hey, I don't feel so good today," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, but you got to get it together for 15 minutes."
yeah.
That's
No, and that's why I'm here. And honestly, I think the topic you proposed actually. Should I go ahead and start? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We passed the thing part of the thing. So the topic I
yeah.
proposed.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we start, so if we're on disclaimers, so actually, or not disclaimers. You wanted to, we wanted to talk about like, yeah, the people who are watching us, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is something I want to bring. I feel like that is a thing. So no one we're not pushing this at all, like at
Yeah.
all. It's hidden behind a video that is that you can only really reach via QR code that you have to find on random streets in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Newark. That's how you find this. And yet these numbers aren't zero. And I I realize that you don't have to respond. But if you're watching this, even if you're not like, oh, I'm not watching all of this, just wanted to see what it was, and now I saw your dumb faces and I'm out. Um, who who are you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious. I mean, we'd love to know who you are. Love to meet you.
Yeah, just put you just if you just like, oh, I've been watching you for a while. Like it's just I understand how people get to the Yonko LLC stuff. That makes sense because I pushed that like crazy,
Mhm.
and we're at like 530 something with only 11 likes because basically we're cold calling. I understand. Uh, but somehow these videos aren't at zero, which is frightening in some odd way.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
it is kind of curious because this is like the we're it's not even like behind the scenes stuff. We're just like, it's just like it's just we're just putting stuff up there to talk and not publicizing it at all. So actually on that note, can you see the website or see the YouTube video on your screen? Okay. So on that note, I'd like to bring up today's featured comment. Today's featured comment is from Brandon Goran. It says, "Yo, this is cool."
yeah,
So
that is
if you would so if you would like to have a featured comment, then please comment down below and be sure to like and subscribe as well.
yeah, feed the Yonko LLC. That's an algorithm to feed. I wanted to make this clear. I'm so bad at pushing this thing, right? That today my wife found out that these go out into the world.
Oh yeah, no
Like
kidding.
I was like, yeah, we record. Have you ever? And I was like, you ever check her out? And she was like, you release those? And I'm like, hmm, that is my fault. Like,
Oh, she thought that we were just like talking.
I guess, yeah. She thought that we were talking for like enjoyment or something, and not
Yeah,
trying to turn it into some sort of odd piece of secondary art from the art we're making. How
right.
foolish of her.
How foolish. I mean, we don't actually like each other. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, I don't dislike you. I just don't ever. It's not that I dislike you. It's that I don't ever see you. We don't ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we're two people who I've seen you once since we started this, and that was to give you stickers. Like that was the whole. Go. We,
Exactly.
it's that's fine. Relationships can be different. We do like each other. If
Of
someone is
course, yeah.
watching, and they're like freaking out, and they're like they don't like each other. I don't want you to.
I know.
This
Because that was about to turn into like a Kanye West and Kim Kardashian situation. Like people were going to start talking about us, taking
yeah,
sides.
Kanye West is gonna make a. I'm gonna make a very upsetting claymation of
Exactly.
you. Which come on, don't please don't do that, Kanye. Some
Yeah.
claymation where you're murdering someone. I feel like I shouldn't have to ask someone about this. So do you want to bring up the topic, or do you want me to bring up the topic?
No, you go ahead. I'm too out of it.
So one of the things we talk about is having to work. Ow. Okay. 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 Having to work through and sort of the respect the grind part of the grind, right? And one of the things I wanted to talk about was I wanted to share a tool, and I wanted to share very specifically how I use the tool and the trap that is built into the tool. I also want to show off my new toy. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's a book I'm very excited about. This is 3,000 excuse me, 2,400 royalty free images of plants,
Oh, nice.
and like it's just pictures of plants, baby. It's just
Wow.
wood carvings of plants. I use a lot of these. If you check out Yonko, a lot of these are in there. Now, some stuff I'll plunder phonics and I'll just be like, you know what, this image of X is just mine now. I'm just gonna take a picture of it and say it's mine. But these are cool because like they're legitimately royalty free, so I can't get dinged for them.
Yeah.
Um, but what's also cool about them is like there's just page after
Mhm.
page of just plants, and I have a bunch of these. This isn't the only one I have, and I like
Yeah.
pick them up over time. I have
Okay.
pictures of just hands, and like I have pictures of people and underwater.
Hmm.
And I always find one of the things I can do to help me, like if I'm like, oh, I've just been doing this forever. One of the cool things I like to do is to give myself exactly one new thing to work with
Hmm.
and to go, okay, and like one new tool, we'll call it, toy tool. There's the, it's not a toy, toys are for children. Like one new tool can be so helpful to like re-spark inspiration and go,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I can use all of this. The trick is, I think, and I think, and I think that's a very useful thing that I wanted to share with people is you give yourself one new thing to work with.
Hmm.
And then the if you're feeling brave and you're feeling like powerful in that moment, that new thing can be like a restriction or a rule. But if you're feeling a little more, oh, the world is at me, buying, I don't know. I would use guitar metaphors, but I'm talking with a guy who is a guitar guy. I can call you a guitar guy, I think, right?
That's okay. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah, who is a guitar guy? So if I'm like, yeah, you buy a whammy pedal, and you're like, that's not a real thing, but or whatever, you
Yeah.
buy a one new toy, and
Yeah.
then use that toy, and then mix it back in with all the stuff you've been doing.
Mhm.
The trap of that is you don't buy 50 new things because
Mm.
then you're going to get overwhelmed. I think one of it's a human thing that we always
Mhm.
think technology is going to fix our problems, and then we get a piece of technology and we don't know how to use it. You'll feel it in yourself. You're like, oh, this dumb computer barely even works when you're at the workplace or you're trying to edit. Then you get the new computer and you're like, I have no idea what any of this does. Where's my old computer? Like, that feeling.
Yeah.
So you're trying to avoid that feeling, and I think the way to avoid that feeling is to like uh, give yourself like a drip of a new thing. I think it's
Mhm.
such a better idea to do just one drip because like you want to do a million different things, but
Mhm.
I think it's a much stronger idea to go. Here is one new thing, and I'm going to play with it for a while, and then put on the next new thing.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to share that because I wish some of the what this podcast is for me is saying stuff I wish people told me sooner. Like
Mhm.
don't 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 go out and buy a million different, if you're into knitting, don't buy every piece of yarn. Buy the yarn you need and then one new piece of yarn and use
Yeah.
that. Don't blow yourself out because it's such an easy move to do and you see it happen so much. People learn a new skill, they get okay at it, they buy all the toys instead of one of the
Yeah.
toys to use, and like they get freaked out because they feel overwhelmed, and then they either let it go for a while or they move on to the next thing, and we're surprised that happens and no one ever stops and goes, well, let's try to figure out a way to make that not happen. And I want to
Yeah.
say this is a way to make it not happen. That's by very specifically adding one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really cool. I'm just thinking about because I've never thought about that specifically.
Mm,
But yeah, and actually, in thinking about just my own experiences, I mean, I can identify several times where exactly the thing you're talking about, where I just get overwhelmed with too many things,
mm,
has happened. But and yeah, I think if and again, just thinking of like different experiences, even outside of creating I mean, anytime you have something new, you get excited about it, right? So having that something fresh, I think, is gonna be inspirational. So absolutely, yeah, that's a really cool idea.
This is a weird metaphor I'm going to make, but here's the thing I learned in my reading. We as people don't like being drunk. Let me finish. That is not where the positive feeling is.
Mm,
Positive feeling is the act of getting drunk. It's the movement on the scale, not the ooh feeling. It's the going from normal to not normal. And you, if knowing that about how your body works, that's almost true with everything. So you're almost like artistically trying to always trick yourself into making it feel like you're in the upward process. And
mhm,
like I think it's funny because like a lot of times for me, I'm always trying to work against my own stupid my own stupid like lizard brain. I'm like, shh, lizard brain, here, have a treat. And not too many treats, just one treat. Okay,
right.
lizard brain. But I wanted to talk about that, and I guess that's like my hey public service announcement is get yourself one new toy at a time, not a million toys, because that's how you're gonna blow yourself out every time. Don't buy you don't. I was thinking about it this way: if you draw with three colors and then you add a fourth color, you're gonna go, oh, ooh, I love fourth
Mhm,
color. Fourth color is great. But if you draw with three colors and you buy a whole box, you're not gonna. There's gonna be too many choices immediately.
mhm,
I think fourth color first, and then slowly build up upon it. I think that's a much better,
yeah,
healthier way to do it. That I will forget to do. I am sure. The trick is I actually ordered two of these, not one. Um,
yeah,
it was a lot bigger. This one's a lot bigger than the last one. The last few I got. Usually
yeah.
they're much thinner tomes. Um,
Mhm.
but
Well, and even just thinking about like that idea of like adding something,
mhm,
because you could even get overwhelmed by the choices. Like if you have a box of crowns
mhm,
and you've got the 64 pack of crowns or the 100,
mhm,
500 crowns or whatever, then you could get overwhelmed by the choices. And I think it's not even what you choose that matters really. It's just the act of doing it. So like, with guitar, I mean, like finding the pedals. I mean, like there's a million pedals out there like to buy, and it doesn't even necessarily matter which one to buy. I mean, and that is a good analogy, especially for this because I'm using a lot of effects
mhm.
with the stuff that we're creating. So it doesn't even matter necessarily what pedal, to incorporate. It's just if you get something new, then start playing around with it and get that inspiration from that. Um, just like with the fourth color idea.
I think that is like it's something I find legitimately funny and like and the tension of like learning the new thing and like instead of this and this and this and this just okay, I'm working with perspective today. And like that's what like if you can do it as self-discipline and that's good when you're in the right self-discipline headspace. But if you need to like work around self-discipline, which sometimes I need to do, like I'm not always going to be the best. I can do it sometimes, but there are times when I'm off. I find like the best way to trick it is to don't buy 50. That's what your brain wants to do. Your brain goes, I'm going to buy 50 and it's going to be fine. You buy one new thing. And like that's not, and I don't even think the one new thing you should buy probably shouldn't be expensive when you're in the bad headspace. Like buy
Mhm.
something that's like 10 to 15. This was like $12. I buy these used. But buy the $12 thing so that like you're not precious about it, but like
Mhm.
that uh it is fun to talk with you and realize the line between inspiration and overwhelmed is like they are next to each other on the whatever the pie chart
Yeah.
is. We got to work on the pie chart. That's something that it's like underwhelmed, overwhelmed, inspired, uninspired. Like
Right.
there's sort of four, but like it's closer than you think, and you always have to be real careful to not go to overwhelmed because for me, and I'm not, other people are other people overwhelmed will shut me down faster than uninspired.
Mhm.
Also, I'm gonna make an argument real quick. Two screen as much as you can. If you're like watching YouTube videos and stuff, put that stuff in the background and work on stuff still. Two like we're single screen and too much. That's my new stance. I'm trying to two screen more.
Really.
And yeah, well, the trick is if I'm like watching, because like there's stuff I need to focus on, and that
Mhm.
stuff needs quiet or like focus music, whatever,
Yeah.
right? That's what that needs. But if I want to just keep the train moving, I think it's sometimes important to just fiddle about. Like it's sometimes like
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
I think you should, you got to know when to noodle and know when to shut up and listen to your teacher. I know you're a guitar teacher. Can we say that? Is that okay to point out? Or are you going to bleep
Yeah.
that out?
It's okay.
That's important because I assume every guitar teacher at some point has had to go, stop, stop. I need you to stop playing. Stop, shut up, shut up,
Yes.
shut up.
Mo-
Make your hand shut up.
yes. Let's just say more than once. Yes.
Yeah.
That is
I
often
think
said.
here's the thing. So here's the thing about that is I think as a person who's creative, you should that impulse to just noodle about, you should do that at the right time. Like
Yeah.
while you're watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, you don't need your full attention on it. Keep your hands moving, keep making your little art piece, and then also it's something I've been talking about a lot. Also, do the deep focus stuff. Like you should really be trying to balance both the deep focus stuff and the sort of I'm playing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh yeah, that is it. But this is a really good one. Yeah. Everything you're saying is great, and I'm actually getting a lot out out of this. So hopefully our few viewers are as well.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've been trying, I always have to remind myself is like you are a human, like, and you're all screwed up and weird, just inherently, like we all are,
Mm,
and like your goal is to try to set yourself up in such a way that you can continue to do the thing that makes you the most, that brings you the most like creative joy.